of course, dragging here a little bit. So just hold on. Don't get freaked out. We're getting started. I'm tweeting something. How about these trains? Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Oh, y'all should definitely check out this tweet I'm about to tweet. Tweeting it right now. Yep, there we go. All right, here I'm gonna link this in chat just because this is good stuff. Yeah. Oh, I smell food. It's so not fair. I'm so hungry. Check out that animated this tweet. All right, so here's what we're doing. Here's what I'm doing. Maybe y'all come along for the ride here. Check this magic out. So here's the database diagram, okay, that I got so far. On train stuff, I'm using trains as the model, the models, the domain, etc. Because trains are freaking awesome. We got our railroad right here. Okay, railroads are basically something like, if you know anything about trains, which we'll do this as we go. So we got Amtrak, Wikipedia, we got BNSF, we're going to do Wikipedia on them too. And then we got Union Pacific, Wikipedia, and then we got CSX, Wikipedia. I don't know what CSX stands for, which is weird. Why don't I know what that stands for? Does it even mean anything? I don't know. It seems like some weird conglomeration of stuff. Folks, Southern, Canadian National, and then it's Canadian Pacific. There we go. So this table here for railroad, which has name, history, description, HQ city, service area, map link, is basically this bit, right? So like it's for putting a railroad in it. Like for instance, Amtrak. Amtrak is the American National Railroad Passenger Corporation, NRPC. They didn't want to use an acronym, so they came up with Amtrak, which means like America's track. Of course, they didn't spell it right either. But hey, it was the 70s. I guess everybody was smoking dope or something. But Amtrak. It's all over the U.S. As you can see here, this is the map of the operational trackage of Amtrak. They are the entity that was formed to run passenger railroads all over the United States, and as you can see, it goes into Canada a little bit in Vancouver, Toronto, and up to Montreal. Oh, and Port Huron, Niagara Falls, those places too. I actually haven't been on that little stretch, and I haven't been on that little stretch, or these bits, or this bit north of Boston. But I have been on every single one of these tracks. Oh, I lied. Bakersfield to here, I haven't been in that little section, and I haven't been Oklahoma City to San Antonio. Or this up to Texarkana, Little Rock, and on to St. Louis. I haven't been on that section. So I just learned some new tracks that I need to go ride on those. I need to take some trains on those. And look, Kansas City to St. Louis. Huh. Yeah, cool beans. Anyway, I of course live here, and I've been all over this one and this one down to here, going to San Diego later this year, and down to San Francisco for some conferences. QCon and KubeCon are coming up. I'll be taking the train down for those. Got some stuff probably in Las Vegas, even though I hate Las Vegas, but sometimes I gotta go. There's not a train in Las Vegas. It's another one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of Las Vegas. But anyway, I digress. Going to Las Vegas, San Jose So I've been there a bunch of times on the train. Got a great station there. I like their station. Anyway, so that's Amtrak. That's passenger train in the United States. Then BNSF. There's Union Pacific, CSX, Norfolk Southern, Canadian National, and Canadian Pacific Railway. So these are freight railroads, right? Here is the BNSF map. As you can see, giant. And yes, they share tracks with Amtrak. Amtrak uses their tracks. Hello, Lily. Seattle to Chicago is a freaking blast. It's so cool. Especially the sections that are the most awesome are right here, leaving Seattle, or leaving Everett specifically. Between Seattle and Everett, and then Everett over to like whatever the mountains are there. Going up through that is amazing. And then the next part that's super rad is basically everything from Spokane to about here, which unfortunately is part of the first night, right, is actually leaving the state of Washington, because the train leaves at 4:45. Yeah, train trips are beyond super awesome rad sauce. They are amazing. Yeah, so that's Empire Builder Route. It runs a lot on this BNSF section here. As you can see, it goes up here, over, zigzags through the Rockies, comes down onto the plains, all the way across, then down into Chicago, eventually. Chicago, Minneapolis, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of the Empire Builder out of Seattle and Portland. Leaves Seattle and Portland, then connects in Spokane. Portland to Spokane, Seattle to Spokane. Anyway, connects up there, and then it runs the whole rest of the way to Chicago. So that's the BNSF system. There's Union Pacific. There is their map. So kind of a lot of the lower segments there. I guess, what is that pink bit? That's right, it's in purple. Oh, they have rights of usage, but they don't own the tracks. I believe is what that is. And then the Chicago, Kansas City, our intermodal is, okay, yeah, okay. Whoa, I didn't want to go that big on the map. So anyway, Union Pacific, then we got CSX, which is over here in that section of the country. And then we got Norfolk Southern, which is also in that section of the country. The Canadian National, which, oh my God, why does it not have, where's the map? Why does it not have a map? No maps? No maps for that? Anyway, up in Canada, but they have trackage in the United States. Anyway, I don't know where their map is, so we'll find that later. CP, Canadian Pacific, has a map. Goes Vancouver, BC, all the way over to Montreal, etc. And as you can see, also we got Wisconsin, down in Missouri, and blah blah blah, North Dakota, Indiana, Illinois, blah blah blah, New York, Pennsylvania. So it's got tracks that go down into there, and it is considered a Class 1 railroad in the United States, right? So there's our top big railroads in the United States. Okay, the Wikipedia articles are pretty great. Norfolk Southern is probably one of my favorite railroads, I have to admit. Because of one reason. And I'll show you here in just a second. Oh, there's some of the colors. Oh, here, I'll do this. Norfolk Southern Company train. Why is my thing so big? Stop doing that. Oh, there it is. There it is. Where'd it go? Ah, yes. This is their company train. And what they use is they use what is called the fallen flag colors. When the railroads merge or they buy up a railroad or whatever, the old ones that don't exist anymore are called fallen flags. And they had paint schemes and sometimes flags even, all sorts of stuff that represented that railroad. The Norfolk Southern was the merger of the Norfolk and something at the time, and then the Southern Railroad. Okay, and the Southern Railroad had a paint scheme that was basically gold and green. And their company train now has the horse steed and the theme of gold and black, which was another one of their themes. And they have the red cars, which was the Norfolk colors. And then combined together, cargo trains like you can ride cargo ships. You can't do that. If you look on YouTube, though, you can see people hitchhiking, or not hitchhiking, sorry, hoboing across the country, and it's scary, super dangerous, but super freaking awesome. Also, thanks for the link there, Lily, for that map. We'll look at that right now. Boom. Pulling it up. There it goes. Why is... Oh, that's the wrong link. Gotta go to the right link. So you can't ride the cargo trains, but you can ride the passenger trains. They have a bunch of passenger trains. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, and see, you can see where the Canadian National actually goes all the way down to New Orleans, because one of their fallen flags is the Illinois Central, which was the railroad that ran the passenger train called the City of New Orleans, which Amtrak runs service from Chicago to New Orleans for that today, but nothing beats the City of New Orleans, Illinois. Whoops, come back here. Yeah, Illinois Central. You know what I'm trying to look up? See if we get any pictures of that. So this was a pretty awesome freaking train. Oh, look, there's a whole Wikipedia page. Yeah, so there you go. Illinois Central colors. It's like that, the orange and the brown. Kind of not the nicest looking stuff. Oh, what? Where? Beelzebubben. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Generally, we're coding. We're going to get to that in a minute. But right now, we're talking about some railroad stuff. So this is the train that used to go Chicago to New Orleans. There's still a train. It just looks like this now. That goes Chicago to New Orleans. Uses a super line of cars, so it's like 2-story super line of cars. That Amtrak runs. Oh, look, there's the old... When it inherited some of the old cars back in the day. But anyway, that's what it used to look like. It used to have this fancy tail car where you could sit in the back, you could watch the tracks going, or watch the train going over the tracks. And there's another picture of it. Hero, thanks for following. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. We're just talking trains at the moment. Be talking trains a lot because I'm going to be using this as my data model. Oh yeah, this is some good links right here. Here, I'll put this in chat. Y'all can check it out if you want to. There we go. So yeah, that's the Illinois Central, City of New Orleans. And let's close that. I mean, this is the GIF when I posted this. Yes, yeah. I'm pretty sure this is not as fast as they were really going though. I'm pretty sure they were going way slower. It's probably like 10 mile per hour trackage right there. But looking at the GIF all sped up like that, it's like, whoa! They're totally gonna crash. Oh, I love trains. Crack me up. So anyway, Norfolk Southern company train. Unfortunately, you don't get a ride on that unless you know family like at the company, or they have a special excursion, because Norfolk Southern and some of the railroads, they still have some pretty amazing excursions where you can actually go ride on the company trains. But otherwise, if you're in the United States, you want to ride a passenger train, you have to ride either Amtrak or a local commuter rail somewhere, and there's just a few private trains. Like there's one for the big hole in the south. The Grand Canyon. There's a Grand Canyon Railroad. So there's options. But otherwise, what we're going to be talking about in our database is basically the big railroads and then pertinent things that they would schedule or line up trains for. And I know a little bit about trains, but I've never been on an Amtrak train. What? Yeah, you should definitely take Amtrak train. You're down yonder, so let's talk about that just for a second. Amtrak has two. Actually, let's do this. Coast Starlight, and then Amtrak Cascades. There's two trains specifically for Seattle Portland stuff, and it's more than Seattle Portland. It does a lot more than that. For instance, here is the Cascades train map. Pull that up. What in the world is it doing? No, show me the map. Yes. So over here you can see, and let's actually bring that up on the page. Oh, there's one of the new engines. Yeah, so the Cascades actually goes from Eugene all the way up to Vancouver, BC. Now, the area where it's super useful is basically between Bellingham and Eugene. It's super beautiful going to Vancouver, but it takes a long time to get from Bellingham to Vancouver. But if you got the time, definitely take the train up there. It's worth it. Just the beautiful coastline and everything that it goes through, amazing. And then the super useful part is the Seattle to Portland segment. Makes pretty good time there, and usually it's about equal to trying to drive to an airport, go through security, get on the airplane, fly all the way down to Portland, or vice versa, then drive from that airport to wherever you need to go. So it's from city center to city center, i.e. downtown Portland to downtown Seattle, it's pretty effective. It's like 3 hours and something that it takes. And I say and something because trains in the U.S. are not timely anymore. Emphasis on anymore. Yeah, 5+ hours is not fun in a car. It's super fun on the train though. You can drink beer, have wine, eat food, talk to other people, look out the window, not talk to other people, sit and mind your own business, have fun. Sometimes people like play music. There's all sorts of stuff that goes on the train. It's quite spectacular. Honestly, I think train riding is one of the very worthwhile, interesting pursuits for a human being on this planet. Their trains are freaking awesome. So, anyway, this is the Cascades route. Now, there's another train, the Coast Starlight, which runs out of Seattle, stops at most of these places. I think it doesn't stop at Oregon City, and it doesn't stop at Tukwila. But it basically goes Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia, Centralia, Kelso, Vancouver, Portland, Salem, Albany, Eugene, and then continues stopping at various stops all the way to Los Angeles. Right? So that's that train. Now, the two differences between these two is this is a weird post. Show a train. I don't want to see that. Oh yeah, there's basically what the Cascades train looks like in the business car. The regular class is kind of basically the same thing. Like the armrest in the middle is a little bit smaller, and there's like two over here. But oh look, there's a happy conductor, and there's the old train. Where is? Oh, you get to see this Tacoma Narrows Bridge, but that's not what I was looking for. They don't have a picture of the train. I guess they don't. Anyway, the train looks basically like this, right? It's more of a streamlined single-story train, whereas the Coast Starlight is a massive train, and this might not be the best picture, but why did it? I swear I didn't click on that. Anyway, it's a double-deck train. Oh, here's a good one, and it's long, right? So sometimes I really am not good at clicking on what I really want to click on. Copy image address. Go to the image. Yeah, so the Coast Starlight, double engines, big old baggage car, so you can rack your bike if you want to take a bike, and then a whole bunch of rail cars. Like in the first three are sleeping, or first four are sleeping cars. Then there is a so it's 4 sleeping cars, dining car, then business class, and then a lounge car. You can see the lounge car because it's got these crazy windows where you can see out like up and down and all over the place. And then there's 3 coach cars, which are basically coach seating, which is the same as business class seating, but in business class on this train, you get a coupon for food, you get a quieter car, because people usually don't want to pay the difference. And it's right between the lounge car and the diner, so people aren't walking through as much. Anyway, that is that one. Got slightly detoured. So what my plan is here. Yeah, so, that's what I was going to say, is if you are going between Seattle and Portland, you have a choice between the Cascades trains, which run 3 times a day, 4 times a day. I forget how many times a day. But anyway, 3 or 4 times a day at this point. And they just go back and forth, and they go faster than the Coast Starlight. But the Coast Starlight also goes between Seattle and Portland. And both trains have their pluses, and both trains have their minuses, depending on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to enjoy, and et cetera, et cetera. The Coast Starlight takes about 4 hours to get between point to point. Portland to Seattle, that is. But goes a little slower, rides a little smoother, a little easier to see the scenery just because the windows are huge, like if you go sit in the lounge car or whatever. So that's one of those options. Anyway, so that's the railroads here on my chart here. I just changed the color so I can point that one out. And then, so a railroad is considered an operator of a train or trains, right? So like Amtrak is the operator of Amtrak trains. BNSF is the operator of BNSF trains. Some places, though, which is why I have this many-to-many relationship here, because if there is a railroad, it's a railroad, singular entity, right? Like that's the corporate entity or organization. However, a railroad or railroads may be operating a train, which is why I have that many-to-many operator table in here. Because what can happen is, like, for example, let's say there is a railroad called Metra, which there is. It's located in Chicago. It's the commuter rail system, okay, and they're kind of an operator. They're definitely a railroad. Like, they own railroad equipment. But the thing is BNSF or whoever owns certain trackage within Metra in Chicago actually operates a train. So, like, if I had a listing for a train called the, let's say the 5:20 p.m. departure of Chicago out the whatever line, it may be that we need to list Metra and BNSF as the operator of that train. So that's why there's that many-to-many connection between railroad and train. Then I got train, which is just, I'm going to like name the train, which perfect example what we just looked at, Coast Starlight, Amtrak Cascades, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of the freight railroads just name their trains like, I don't know, Hot 101 or something. You know, they give it some whatever acronym or specific name, but usually not anything as specific and human readable as, say, Coast Starlight or the Empire Builder or something like that. Then each train has a consist, and the consist is basically made up of units, which are the cars, right? A unit is basically the car attached to an engine that makes up that train. In that specific case where we're looking at the Coast Starlight, it had like 13, 14, 15 cars, which each have different purposes, right? And in a freight train, you also have the same thing where each has different purposes. Some are coal cars, some are water cars, some are oil cars, some are lumber cars, general cargo cars, blah, 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 blah. Those are the units of the train. So many units and types of units, like I have unit type here, okay? And that is basically like passenger car or dining car or tanker car, whatever it is. So many units make up a consist, which make up a train. And that is why a many-many exists between train and unit. And then here I have some denormalized tables, okay, which is what we would want to create if we're going to do reporting or do any more extensive design elements where we want to have something like, say, data in an Apache Cassandra database. It's going to be in a distributed system that's not relationally integral at the database level. We would maintain that from the application tier or middleware code, whatever, something like that, and through batch processing. So I have these over here to represent a selection of things from the other related tables that we want collected together to be able to ascertain various information, various reports, various collections of information for us, the end user, to be able to get and basically take action off of, right? For example, train consist. That would be all the pertinent information so that we could look at, say, a co-Starlight train and determine what options it has when we board it and, what all we can do. We can get coach, we can get business class, we can get a sleeper, and then have other pertinent information or whatever. Same thing like if we're trying to schedule loads on a freight train. Like if we got coal to ship, or we got oil to ship, or we got some containers coming in off of a ship that need to be shipped, we can ship our shipping containers via the ship to the train to be shipped to some intermodal facility per se, like over in Chicago or Salt Lake City or something like that. That's where we'd want to know the train consist. So again, denormalized tables I've put over here in purple, and then the lightly colored many-to-many tables, and then the regular connected tables that have just some basic primary to foreign key type relationship here. Now, one of the other things that I wanted to add, I'm going to use this awesome tool. This is called dbdiagram. It's pretty badass. I'm going to scoot this stuff down. We're going to get some more tables in here. So I want to create a schedule. And, oh look, the head color becomes head color when you change the head color. Interesting. And I guess the other one, the blue is the default. So I'm going to do a ID, because every one of them needs an ID for basic relational database design. And then what I want to do is set up a name for the schedule. So we'll go with text for that. And let's see here. Schedule needs to have various trains or something. How would we relate it to that? I guess we would say a schedule has a train or trains, right? Yes, a train goes to a schedule. So that specific started and ended segment is just to represent, like for example, the Empire Builder. When the Empire Builder train was originally started, it was started by the Northern Pacific, and well, let's just say it ran under the Northern Pacific for X number of years, and that's what I wanted to set for the date time there. It's not like for those values in the train. I wouldn't set like this train starts at 3 p.m. and then it ends at 4 p.m. or something like that. Right, just it's historical just for the train specifically, right? I definitely, with schedule, I want to set up where, it's the actual like day-to-day schedule of a train. Some trains are short-lived too, right? Like if a train is created to, say, carry a heavy load, where it's just like it's a caboose, it's a train car that carries some huge, massive, like 400,000 pound thing or something, and then an engine, and it's just such a custom piece of equipment that they needed a train to haul it. That would be a train, but it would literally be like started June 1st, ended June 4th when it got to like wherever it goes. Yeah, so the train started and ended is, what would make it more sense? What would make more sense? That's a good catch, man. Thank you, Cylon Toast ZZ or 00 or ooh, Cylon Toast ooh. Yeah, what I should call them is historical start, history ended, history start, history ended, historical start, historical ended. Yeah, historical start and historical end. That makes more sense. No, I'm not in Seattle. Um, so we should schedule another beers, like Friday. Also, Thursday is Elysian. If you want to go see that, that's at El Corazon. If you want to check that out. So schedule. Schedule needs a name, and then it needs what's your table? Time points. I think. And then we'll set up a time point, because time point can be like a city, it can be a point on the track, all sorts of stuff. Type. Let's go to text. And description, just in case that's available. I'll call it point and do a time stamp. What else needs to point? Oh, let's actually do this. Arrival, departure, because some of them have different start, start and depart. Some time points have different arrival and departure times. For example, the Coast Starlight arrives at Portland at, I don't remember, 1:50 and it leaves at 2:15 or something like that. So it's like a 25-minute layover or wait time. Friday works. Cool. Yeah, let's do Friday beers for Seattle. I'll send you an invite. And then let's see here. I saw you also found the Twitters again, or you found me on the Twitters. So then PK foreign key. Does it need? It doesn't need 1-to-1. It just needs the. Let's do this. Time point ID, and then how do I do a ref? Time points. I love that it's autocomplete on a web pagey thing. It's pretty slick. There we go. What is it fussing about? Oh, I left the freaking time out again. Or I mean the type. Left the type out. There we go. All right. So now we got. Oh, this could get tricky. Check this out. We should do this. And then we should have a railroad has many schedules railroad. Because should I cascade that out of the relationship out of railroad, or should I just leave schedule by itself? I kind of think leave it by itself. But also, what happens if we make it relate back? A schedule has many time points. A schedule has a railroad has a schedule. A railroad has many schedules, and many schedules has a railroad. Yeah, I think it would be under operator, right? I mean, under railroad. So I could either connect it to railroad. Where'd schedule go? There's schedule. So I could either do this. Oops. Oh, that's not what I want to do. I want to do. Yeah, I do want to do that. So. No. What I want to do is, where's railroad? There's railroad. I'm going to do this. Schedule. Wait, before railroad, let's do this. Let's say train. Train definitely has a schedule belongs to a train. A train can have a schedule. A schedule can have a train. It's like 1-to-1 though. Oh, how do I do that? How do I make the Do I have content about multidimensional arrays? Not entirely sure what you mean. Like, do I have directions on how to do multidimensional arrays? Or am I going to write a multidimensional array? I may do all of those things. So how does this thing let me do a one-to-one? Maybe I just need to train schedules. Maybe do like a train, schedules. Actually, yeah, that makes more sense. So I can do a many-to-many that would prospectively be one-to-one, depending on the integrity point. Anyway, so this would be train ID, UID, ref, train dot ID, and then we got schedule ID, and that would be ref schedule ID, right? Yeah. 3D arrays? I don't know, 2D array, 1D array. Array is just a list of things. If you have multi-dimensional array, I mean, you can use it for various things. It's just a data structure. Let's look at that. Boom. So with that said, let me finish this. We'll dig into arrays in a second. I'll show you a quick array example. But basically, it's just a data structure. If you have a single dimension array, you have like item 1, 2, 3, 4. But then item 1 could have another whole list of things attached to it that say item 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, like that. I mean, that's one way to describe it. But what do you use them for? I don't know. Use them whatever you want to. I don't know. Nothing specific comes to mind. I don't use multi-dimensional arrays that much. Those things are crazy. You ever had these? Energy chews. Crazy good stuff. Bear with me for a second. I am starting pretzel because I want some tunes. Oh, is that smacky sounding? Oh, did I mess up I messed up trains? Oh, it's not a... There we go. Cool. I guess I could color code by section order. So this is schedules. Can I change this? How do I change this relationship? How do I force it? I don't know. I guess I don't, right? Oops. This isn't like a specific hardcore tool in regard to that. Yeah, this is fine. This is all I want to do anyway. It's just like basic alignment of this stuff. So this is... Oh, no, that's weird. Oh, let's put this up here. Right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So there's schedule, time points in the schedule. So train can have many schedules, like if it's set up for different things. How do they want to organize that? Yeah. That looks good. Okay. Really? Oh, there it is. Couldn't hear it at first. All right, that's good. All right. Train schedule time points. All right. So with this tool, I found there's export PNG, which is pretty cool, right? So you just boom, makes this beautiful diagram of your stuff. So we started with this. Now we have that. So a few more tables, but also like I can grab some SQL. What does that open in? Oh, it just opens in this jump. There we go. Some basic stuff, right? So I just copied all that, and then I'm going to go out to my database. And then get into my Rail Systems database. I'll launch Developer Studio. Yeah, whatever. Whoops. Hitting tabs. I don't know. I don't see. Depends on what you're trying to do. It really does. But if you're having trouble with it, just keep at it. I mean, you'll figure it out eventually. Ah, what did I just do? How did I even get here if it doesn't let me auth? Let's try that again. So it gave me a thing anyway. All right. Ah, there we go. I think that's my password. I don't really know. Okay, seems to have worked. So I'm going to paste all that goo in. Create table. Create table. There we go. Now it's blown up. I'm not going to get these on here. Let's do text. Time. I think is what we're going to want. Time. Yeah, time. Is that what I'm fussing about? Oh yeah, I need to do a bunch of them. But come on, map is to a system thing. So var int tiny int text. Tuple. Oh, weird. Sure. Well, we'll mess with that in a bit here. Well, we'll put text in so far. Unit weight int. Is that? Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. Int. So that export gives me a good starting point, right? So I'm going to save that and work with it from there. Var train name, var char. What's this fussing about? Shit. No, you don't like that for some reason? What's it say? Misspecify only in one. Oh yeah, that's right. Oops. Here we go. SQL create table. Yeah, primary key. Maybe I do want tuple for that then. For that other thing I was trying to think of. Because I wanted to do a map. I thought there was a map type. I could have sworn there was. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, see, map int text. That's what I wanted. Well, let's see if that works anyway. Unit load. Oh, it's because I needed to I needed to designate the stuff there. And then this. I guess it needs to go there, right? Is that? Yeah, okay. And what's that fussing about? Why is that fussing at me? Oh, did I not? Yep. Boom, there we go. You mean warning? Oh. Am I gonna have to put quotes everywhere? That's not fun. Let's not do that then. Let's just do schedule ID. We'll do train ID. There we go. And oh god, let's select, replace all that with nothing, right? So can I do that? Yeah, do it. Do all of it. I wonder if I can do that's fine for now. Okay, so just specify. Oh yeah, train name. I am declaring it there. There we go. That fixed it. Okay. And then same thing here. Of course, this stuff might change in the near future. This is what it's going to be right now. So this is time, 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 oops. Unit load type. What did I want to do? Oh yeah, map, text, text. Where's the other one? And I want that to be text, text 2, because that's the same value. Unit type is here. So unit load type, unit create table unit type. Okay, and then this is int, 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 int. And then time. Oh yeah, map. Derp text, text. All right, and then 2 more times. Time, time. Let's see if that works. Think it'll work. It should create, these will be kind of useless ones. I need to set up the keys per Cassandra, but whatever. Let's see what we get. Alright, so, let's look at arrays here in just a second. Just want to JavaScript multi-dimension. Yeah, there we go. So that's single dimension, 2 dimension. Let's push him around. That's funny. From the inner arrays of the activities array. I don't like this example. Yeah, fiddle with that later. But anyway, so what did we get? No data returned, but success. What is this fussing about now? Table already exists. Oh, of course, yeah, of course it exists. Let's get create table. Let's say if not exists. Yeah? What? Oh, create table if this needs to go not there. Let's put it up here. Create table if not exists, right? Yeah, I got rid of it. So let's do that. And let's copy all this stuff. Do another find and replace on things. So every create table should actually be. How do you? Damn it! Edit. Control H. That's what I hit. I hit that already. Ah, there it goes. So we'll do create table if not exists. All. Control enter. Boom. All right, there we go. So that is our first schema migration, our first valid schema migration. and we shall continue forward from there in the very near future. For now, though, I'm going to bail for the evening, get myself some food, drink the rest of my energy drink, shit, whatever, and I'll be back tomorrow at 3:33 p.m. No tardiness this time. So everybody have a good one. But, as always, before we disappear, who are we going to raid? That's what I want to know. Who to raid? Who to raid? Anybody got some suggestions?
What? That's it, bro.
Yeah? That's it, bro. Alright. Looking at who to raid. LA Face is on. Jitter Ted, Jitspo, Chainbrain is rocking out. Chainbrain's pretty awesome. He's always shredding on the guitar. So yeah, any suggestions? Any suggestions? Anybody? What the? So I was looking at it, and then I got Jitter Ted, and I got bombed with an ad. What is that doing? Pick a direction to zoom or not. Anyway. There we go. So anyway, who should we raid? Who should we raid? What's Celichi doing? Oh. It looks like Halloween time. Vocal position. Dialogue runner. Gentle ghost. Oh, looks like cool.
This is a good song. I love it. It's a really good song. Hey, Fred. How you doing?
All right, I'm gonna follow.
Mine's playing the 41%.
And then.
Oh, that's right. You're a piece of fucking shit.
Oh, Vulgar too. Sweet.
Adrian Hall, thank you so much for the follow. I super appreciate it.
Oh, I got a heart. Awesome. All right, here we go. Raid time. Catch y'all later.